Andy and Dave Daily right here on the Muskegon channel. Happy Friday.
Happy Good Friday.
Andy O, Dave Cackley, who is just ready to go. He's excited that the weekend's here. I, on the other hand, have a couple of hockey games to work. I've got some, what else do I have to do? I've got some people to touch. I've got some lives to change. I will be working all weekend. Dave, on the other hand, the life of leisure.
We would call it a life of leisure. It's Good Friday, so
sure,
it's Easter weekend.
Easter weekend,
lots of stuff going on.
Yeah,
but
Easter Bunny coming to see you?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah,
I don't know. Haven't decided.
I was reminiscing about the Easter Bunny last night and what my childhood was like around Easter time. It was rough. For some reason, the Easter Bunny took great pleasure in hiding my Easter basket in places that were not easily found. One time it was in the car in the garage. And what kid looks in the garage for an Easter basket, right?
You don't, because that's where the gasoline on oil and all the gross stuff is.
One time it was on the porch out behind the house with the curtains closed. One time it was in the dryer. That's really funny, isn't it?
That's funny.
You wonder why I ended up seeing a shrink for a while. So Easter, I think I'm just going to sit around the house and trigger. I'm just going to curl up into a ball and wonder why my childhood was so rough.
See, my parents never hid the Easter baskets. They were just there. We came downstairs. Everybody had their little individual one, bunch of chocolate, they didn't make a search for anything. We never did Easter egg hunts. We never painted Easter eggs because we didn't want eggs. Who wants eggs? No, I want chocolate. I want candy on Easter.
Right.
That's what I want. It's like a second Halloween.
You had 15 kids too, so I mean, trying to think about that rat race running around the house trying to find Easter eggs.
There's gonna be. My parents nah, none of that. Here's your chocolate bunny. Enjoy.
Yeah.
And the chocolate bunny was awesome.
Yeah.
I love the chocolate bunny, man.
She's got a sack full of them upstairs, and I don't know. I would love to just eat some, but A, the weight loss thing has been going good. B, I don't know how many are accounted for.
Right.
Yeah.
You can, you know what? It's Easter on Easter Sunday. You can kind of, enjoy yourself a little bit.
It's like anything, you don't want to turn that faucet back on once
right.
you slow it down.
I understand.
I don't want to really get that ball rolling again with a bunch of candy. So.
Right.
I'll stay where I'm at. Thank you very much.
Understood.
You going to do some news, or what are you going to do?
Hey, let's get into it. Hey, speaking of Easter, the Vatican is trying to set the record straight on whether Pope Francis denied the existence of hell in a recent interview. According to an Italian newspaper, Francis said, quote, that those who repent could be forgiven, but that those who do not will, quote, disappear. The article, which ran yesterday, reported that Francis said, quote, hell does not exist. So, I mean, there have actually been some other, men of the faith, not necessarily Catholic, who've contemplated whether or not hell exists. And that's an interesting thing to be curious about and to wonder. But as far as, Catholic doctrine goes, it's interesting because you remember Catholicism canceled limbo years ago. Limbo used to be where they sent if your baby wasn't baptized and died, it went to limbo. Nobody knew what that was.
Right.
It was just kind of like an in-between state where the soul just kind of floated around. I'm not really sure, but then they canceled that, and I assume promoted all the babies up to heaven. But I don't know. If you were to ask me whether or not I think hell exists, it's an interesting thing. I hope it doesn't, but I got a feeling it probably does.
I got this one, dude.
Go ahead.
Yeah?
Enlighten me.
Yeah? I will tell you this, and I can speak from personal experience, and I know this to be true. Heaven or hell, they are here and now, and they are how you live your life. I've lived both, and you've been there for some of it. Hell is what I came from. Addiction and deceit. I was never a mean-spirited drunk. I was never a deceitful liar or anything like that. When I was an alcoholic or anything like that, but I was a slave, and I know what it is to live in hell. You're under the control of everybody else. You are at the mercy of a substance, you are trapped and you're stuck and you're truly a slave. And on the other side of that, this life I live today, if you ask me if there's a heaven, I'm going to tell you what, it's now, and I'm walking through it, because what my life has become, it is just a movie ought to be made. I really can't believe how good things are. So the question of heaven or hell, I don't know about the afterlife, and I really don't care. I think you punch your ticket here on earth by how you live. I don't think you need to believe in a particular religion. I don't think you need to believe in a certain way other people believe. I don't think you need to worry about organization of that religion or anything. I think it's how you live, it's how you treat people, and it's how you approach the day-to-day existence. And I'm not a big preacher or anything like that, and I won't cram any faith or anything down anybody else's throat. But if they ask, I will come right out and tell them that heaven and hell are right here on earth, and it's good when you're in heaven, because it's amazing.
I think that's a great attitude to have. I think that's phenomenal. I don't believe this is heaven by any stretch of the imagination.
Well,
but I think that's a good. I think it's a good attitude to have.
If you just let go of, and you can't let go of responsibility, and you can't let go of being proper and things like that. But if you just let go of the worries of this world and the nonsense that we put on ourselves when it comes to I'm right, he's wrong, blah blah blah, and all that other kind of stuff, if you just let it all go, it's just the greatest thing ever. And I know that on the surface I've got the whole jokester, laugh at Andy, ha ha ha, all that kind of stuff, but it all comes from the inside. And heaven and hell, they are here and now. And
okay, like I said, I think you're probably you might be half right. Might be half right on that, but
I know what I'm talking about.
I do like thinking about deeper issues like that, because I 100% believe there's a heaven. I don't think it's here. I think you can create a hell for your life here. I do agree 100% with that. Now, whether there's an eternal hell, I'm not going to say there's not. I don't know. I'm comfortable saying I don't know 100%, but
nobody knows.
Nobody
knows.
I'm not
nobody
saying that
on God's green earth knows if there's a heaven or hell. Nobody is. You can theorize. You can believe.
Yes.
You can talk about your near-death experiences and how close you came to seeing the pearly gates or Hades or wherever you think it was. There is nobody on this earth that knows 100% factually sure that there's a heaven or hell or an afterlife. There's nobody, because nobody's ever come back to talk about it.
Here's what I find interesting, especially when talking to atheists about this.
Okay.
Is there's nothing.
Okay.
Like, you die, that's it. And then if you ask them, what is nothing? Well, it's a lot of times, well, that's nothing. It's blackness. It's darkness. It's nothing. That's something. You even conceive of that.
Right.
If there's nothing, can you even conceive of what that is or what that would be?
Well,
you can't.
Hawking, we just lost Stephen Hawking.
Yes.
3 weeks ago?
Yeah, very famous atheist. Yeah.
Yeah, and he said we're the equivalent of a computer being turned off. Everything we learn, everything we know, it's just essentially a computer that's been turned off when we're gone.
You don't know.
You don't know.
But he doesn't know.
The reality of it is that nobody on earth knows what comes next. We just don't know.
Right.
We can theorize, we can believe, we can have faith. We can and believe me, dude, I'm one of deep-seated faith. I don't profess a worldly religion or anything like that anymore. I grew up Catholic, so I guess that would be the closest thing I assimilate to. Mm-hmm. But we don't know. And the approach in your life should be, just in case, let's live like heaven's already here and now, and that way, if after the fact you're gone, you just continue right on your path.
Yeah, I have a very simplified view of my Christian faith. I believe Jesus died for the sins of man. That's my belief. Mm-hmm. I don't tell other people what to believe or what not to believe, but I do. To me, it boils down. I very big on forgiveness. I'm
Yep,
very
gotta be.
big on not judging people
Yep.
at all. I don't have a right to do that. But when it comes to just like say the philosophical discussion of okay, whether is there a God? Isn't there? I believe there's only one of two things is possible, and I don't think there's any way of getting around this. You were either created with a purpose, or life itself is a completely random, meaningless accident.
Yep.
Those are the only two possibilities. So that's one of those things. I'm going with the first one. You can go with the second one, and
Yep.
there is something there. You could make a case for it, but those are the only two things. So you try, and I think you need to live like it's the first one.
There you go.
Because if you live like the second one, you got chaos and you got mayhem, and you don't even want to think about what the world would be like if everybody thought that way.
There you have it.
That would be insanity.
Very
Anyway,
philosophical. Thank you.
what else is going on? Fox News host Laura Ingram has apologized after saying on Twitter that Parkland survivor and anti-NRA activist David Hogg was whining after being turned down by 4 colleges. 17-year-old Hogg called on advertisers to boycott her show. Half a dozen advertisers subsequently pulled their ads. Now, once again, she apologized. I don't buy her apology. I don't necessarily think she had to give one. It's one of those things. It's David Hogg and Emma Gonzalez are really, really interesting. I think they're very, very smart, and they're very, very savvy. I mean, the idea that he got turned down by 4 colleges, kid's got a 4.2 grade point average. He's very articulate, but like I said, he's very savvy because he knows when he talks about things, A, people are going to listen, and B, people are going to be very, very careful for the most part about criticizing him because he's a survivor, because he's 17. But, he said some things himself. I mean, like Marco Rubio, do you remember the town hall that CNN showed when you had the survivors up there, and then you had Rubio and I think the head of the NRA?
I didn't watch.
Kind of getting
anyway.
They were kind of getting lambasted, and he actually said to Rubio, I mean, he accused him of giving away children's lives to the NRA and looking at you as like looking down the barrel of a loaded gun, and the female head of the NRA was hypocritical and disgusting, and he's got the right to say these things. He's got the right to feel these things and believe these things. But I think he may have crossed the line into, okay, you're doing this. You're calling on advertisers to boycott. You've got over 700,000 followers on Twitter. Emma Gonzalez has 1.4 million. You kind of have opened yourself up now to be criticized.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you think it should be or not, it's one of those things where you're a political force now.
Yeah.
You're out there. And if you put yourself out there, now some would say, well, he's being put out there by people on the left side of the aisle. Maybe that's true. And once again, he's got the right to say all these things. But I think you open yourself up to criticism if you decide to do that.
Yep.
So I don't know. I think it's good that people are getting involved and people are talking, but you got to be really leery about what you say and how you say it and how it's being perceived, even if you're a young person. Well, I mean, this guy's kind of like people look at these kids almost like they're Doogie Howser-esque and how articulate and how intelligent they are, because these are smart kids, whether you agree or disagree with them. I may disagree with them, but you gotta give them their due for their, they're out there and people are following, and you got to pay attention because I mean, advertisers were pulling out.
Yeah.
They were doing that. So you got to, man, it's tough. But like I said, very savvy. But on the other side, I mean, I think you open yourself up to be criticized if you're going to do that. So
next,
what else is going on? Downshifting a bit. Senior Living Center. This is very cool. Set to open in Muskegon. The 84-unit Berkshire apartment community will welcome residents. This is weird. 55 and older at the end of April. Around 175 units are under development in the downtown area. The Berkshire is already 50% leased a month ahead of schedule, a month ahead of the move-in date. So I don't think of 55-year-olds as seniors, though. That's an odd age. And maybe it's just because I'm pushing 46. I'm like, what, in a decade I could live there?
That's right, man.
I don't
You
know,
can't.
man.
You can't live anywhere but home. What are you talking about?
I can live plenty of places.
No, you can't.
I can.
Okay.
I can.
Sure.
I've told you the situation numerous times.
I
But
know.
anyway, so that's very cool. I mean, you've got a bunch of these, like I said, 175 units under development.
Yep.
We got an aging population, and
Yep.
they need to move somewhere. So
Yes, they do.
good for the old people. I love old people.
Yep.
I still have 55.
55.
Really?
It's
55?
creeping up on us, man.
I can't even conceive of that. Sports Final Four set for this weekend. Of course, we got the Michigan taking on Loyola. You got the Villanova in Kansas in second game. Tigers postponed yesterday, opening day.
Yep.
Today, same 1:10 start time against the Pirates. Jordan Zimmerman taking them on. We'll see. They start off 1-0. They're going to win 60, maybe 70 games. Maybe.
We'll have to see.
Enjoy it. Like I said yesterday, enjoy first place while you can if you're a Tiger fan.
We're still toying with the idea of making the trek down Sunday, so keep your eyes on Facebook, and if you see some pictures popping up outside of Comerica Park, you'll know where we are.
All right. Remember what happened last year, though, and I don't think that's going to be a problem. So you wore your sun, you got the sunburn, and you had the that horrific.
That's part of the fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The horrific tan lines on your eyes. Be careful with that.
No, that's.
I don't want to get creeped out on Monday.
Go enjoy your weekend there, Goober.
Happy Easter. See ya.
See ya.